Mm. I've got the type map. I've got the selectable drawer. In the selectable drawer, I'm going to need to determine whether or not we need the array form or the item form, but the thing is, oh, how'd that happen? Control. Too hard. Going too hard. Echo, you're going too hard. Too hard. You gotta be gentle. Gentle. not good for you to chew on. You already had yours. Echo. He's just trying to relax, baby. Echo! I will not tell you again. Leave him be. He is just trying to relax.
when past 10,000 years, population system specialized. So you want don't want we want a basic if these die, you just plants you cannot type a competitive I actually a lot of the 20 this is systematic periodic. We'll call it possible. Regardless of asteroid means more continuous inside. Bigger. But when you get something closer to least Earth around the ring, or square, the ring. Approximately 35 meters, 400 before the meters, diagrams, and that happens for an hundred. Pushing this machine is designed boxes the ability and because it has a model without full of run blend. One This book says it's surprising within each an era of upheaval. Post-war boom, an awakening, individualism, and 60 unraveling. Institutions shapes our world. It's specifically American history because many years. And use this deliberately and trust in it. And there's still that thing to division. And you can't. How do you preserve the hard-earned wisdom of past generations? Think about it. Every society did this. We fail, then we learn, we rebuild. Our grandchildren, why we built the people who live are dead. The historical record, the lived experience dies with that. Proxies designers decided this isn't something. So their solution was called the triadic governance. First, there's Apollo, an artificial sci-fi. It's kind of like or the computer from Wall. Apollo is a little different. It's responsible for modeling the model and presenting the outcome, but it doesn't. The role is to ensure full knowledge. Like if one option saves the ship, Apollo shows that. If another preserves just collapse, Apollo shows that. The system is designed so that no single one disagreement is. And what's preserved is not consensus, continuity. Because Proxy's belief is that you can't stop society, but you can stop them from getting. Then there's the living council. This is the human leadership. They're the elected representatives responsible for day-to-day. Continue to pass the baton, generation after generation. And their role is really to make decisions in the present. Social holidays, all of that's on them. Then there's the at age 65, you have a choice to continue on the living council, or you can choose to continue as an adult. With the promise that if you get woken up, live out the rest of your life, which is an old idea. You might be asking, just train an AI to remember. They remember. That's what people are doing. But here's the thing. An AI can recall the events and the decisions. It can tell you it can show you the mortality data or the recovery, but it can't tell you what it was like to ration food. It can't tell you how you couldn't, and it can't tell you about the having been wrong. The chorus with their lived, serve the living memory. All of this sounds fair, but remember Diela, Prime Minister, she wanted to eliminate. She never sleeps, no personal interest, No, because cousins are a problem in a. But yeah, we're already having this debate of should AI on paper, if it really works, an AI that remembers, models every outcome. It's emotional, no ego, no pride, no personal interests. Sounds good. And something as complex as an intergenerational shift can actually really how it's structured. Also, trust. And people trust us. Well, Chrysalis doesn't. Their biggest fear is I or human. So their aim was to create distributed systems. Each of the five own AI, three AIs, constantly checking each other. And just like Proxima, they don't actually have the power to make any decisions. They only advise by rules and models. And the scenarios don't even get presented. All three of the AI. There's also no central AIs independently from each other, and they're not in no single point of authority, no single point of failure. But actually, I think the problem is simpler. Ciela, Albania's was criticized. That it's an illusion of accountability without real substance. Propaganda fan. Of course, Albania is dealt with decades. So people are skeptical. It also tells me that it's really hard to get people to trust the system when there's no real clarity about who's really making the decision. No matter how smart or well designed it is, how do you get people to trust a system? This is W. Actually, they don't. I think it's more about trying to make this system. The first, the size. It's tiny compared to the others. Only 1/316th of a single crystal. It's composed of two rings spinning an object, each ring with its own gravity. They're connected by this massive. They took Wally. But the biggest difference is, unlike the other, there's no because the habitat modules themselves are each habitat is built from a heating triangle, and each module is kind of all in one system. Thermal insulation, structural support, pressure containment, acoustics control, and of course, and in orbit, these modules kind of link together. Robots, or even on their own. This idea actually comes from self-assembly. The idea that you can program materials to connect without human intervention. But there's also full-scale recycling on the ship, if any of it. And all of this is this three-phase cycle. The modules are assembled in Earth orbit, which becomes your home during the trip. But upon arrival, the modules land on the first. And at this point, the ship becomes a satellite and explores the new planet. And this actually gives us the underlying philosophy. Nothing here. By using self-assembly on the ship, it means as the population changes, entire communities can be reconfigured. So, what does this actually look like? Well, there's 6 neighborhoods, 3 on each ring. Each neighborhood housing about central on the sides and community space in the middle. And it's this space can be reconfigured. In fact, according to the designer, the neighborhood acquires distinct character that the residents will often travel to other neighborhoods for vacation and even do a home exchange. I love this idea. First, breaking away from it, lots of real negative. So it creates the experience of apparently to get from ring 1 to 2, you take an elevator. As you descend, or ascend, you get this brief that tells you trust. Because in reality, it's only a ship by name. For 400 years, you're not really traveling. You're just living. But it turns out humans are not really good. There's something about us that needs to search new horizons. So this factors in. Before that middle generation who inherited this mission, really asked. Maybe it's there's a quote. Housing is not it's by the architect in the 70s. He studied people who'd been relocated from into government buildings of an objectively higher material. But what he found was that people were happier before. From this, he found that the act of making your shelter itself is that was more meaningful than the shelter. He says the process generates meaning, independent of the product, and meaning comes from participation, not theory. I worked on this video partially when I was in, which is where and it was very cold. I spent a lot of time in Kimjiban, which is kind of like a Korean sauna. When I was a kid, we were mom and my aunt, and I was in charge of. After the sauna, we would hold banana milk. And when I was in Korea this time, like, oh, the same thing. And I realized it's not actually a unique personal experience. It's just a Korean experience. That's actually what makes me Korean. It's the things we do together. And that made me think about this. Let's say 300 years, the original mission. You scratch each other's backs. If you know that everyone before you, everyone after you will too, then maybe you don't need to. You simply carry the mission. That's what makes you maybe only thing that can carry a civilization across. So, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And if you guys want to delve more into these,
Hello everybody, hope you're doing well.
Fluttershy's
Thanks for
new
joining us
model,
for
which
another video.
still doesn't
It's
work.
been said for a while now, flat earthers haven't brought anything to argument. Instead, they just keep the same old claims over and over, and they don't have a working model that can explain everything like the globe does. However, recently, flat earthers seem to be brandishing a idea for this. Apparently, new model that is observable in the sky. It was seemingly created by Alan of Space Orbit, pushed very heavily on X by Shane St. Pierre, who's been rather bold news about it, such as in many people will point out flat earthers don't have a working model. Here he says, quote, yes we do. Server-based sky model, no globe constraints, no timing, quote. This post stating, quote, oh look, a standalone geocentric model cycles, zero heliocentric preferences, no AU, no radius, no circumference, pure epicycle map. Quote. Another one claiming, quote, 100% unrefuted on model rebuttals. The used custom built one from Ptolemaic epicycles only, end quote. This one here saying, quote, still zero rebuttals to this model. No one has shown any of anything present in the code, meaning it's properly displaying celestial doubting. How is that possible, Globies? Quote. And then another post claiming the only sun reactions so far were apparently, yeah, but what about sunsets? Strangely, note that he posted this yet a week before I'd rebutted the model with the actual lack of sun. 1 week documented in Antarctica in 2024 that doesn't work with this model. I'll get onto that in a bit. Because for all Shane's chest beating about this is a fully working, 100% accurate model for flat Earth that doesn't use the globe, and other flat earthers have been brandishing this as a apparent game changer, reality is it's the complete opposite for several reasons. So, here's their model. You've got this flat Earth base, you can move the observer around to whatever location you want. Wherever the observer goes, this dome moves, which is their main dome of vision.
Would be that
Basically, their idea is that the stars and the planets are circling at a constant altitude above the Earth, but everybody has a hemisphere of vision. But whilst, say, during the equinox, the sun would be circling around, staying down over the equator, for an observer standing on the equator, rather than seeing the sun circling around following a curved path like you'd expect, like watching the edge of a ceiling fan blade while you're standing directly below it, instead, for some reason, unknown mechanics, they instead see the sun travel a perfect straight path east to west, with noon being directly overhead, exactly like you'd expect on the globe. Now, he states repeatedly this model was made epicycles only. Doesn't use the globe at all, apparently. Even stating here in the special thanks section, coding for the model is built upon R.H. van Gent Almagest Ephemeris calculator. Now, Ptolemy was an ancient astronomer whose probably most notable work was titled Almagest, which used cycles and cycles to explain the movements of planets in a bubble. The issue is, Ptolemy didn't think the Earth was flat. Flat Earthers constantly claim theirs is a geocentric bubble, under the impression that geocentric means flat Earth. It doesn't. Geocentric means Earth at the center. Helio, Earth, center. So heliocentric has the sun at the center. The Earth isn't the center of this flat Earth model, it's at the bottom of it. Ptolemy lived around 100 AD, 300 years after Eratosthenes had worked out the size of the globe. And amusingly, Ptolemy lived in Alexandria, the very place where Eratosthenes had measured the length of a shadow to work out the size of the globe. Ancient Greeks had long known the Earth was a sphere. Their problem was everything else. They thought the Earth was the center and the sky revolved around the globe. Ptolemy's epicycles were a breakthrough in trying to explain why some planets like Mars appear to go retrograde. Rather than having Mars directly orbit the Earth, Ptolemy postulated Mars was orbiting around a point and that point was orbiting around the Earth, kind of like a spirograph. That way, for the most part, Mars would be seen traveling in the same direction, but every so often it would briefly reverse course. But all of Ptolemy's own models and maths, and even the ephemeris calculator that Shane's model is built upon, done with the basis that the Earth is a globe. Ptolemy's original work is but obviously. However, I did find translated copies of Almagest's work. And of particular interest, I think, this section here, sphericity of heavens, where it shows heaven is spherical in shape as a sphere. But 2 is sensibly spherical in shape. When taken as a whole, its position it lies in the middle of heaven's very center, and you can see with the bubble, it clearly has a celestial, except rather than a globe at the center of the celestial sphere, they've shrank the sphere down and only show half of it at a time. Hence why their own model projects everything crashing into the ground and vanishing for absolutely no reason. Why, when you change their model to supposedly show the celestial sphere tiny and missing, in reality the globe should have the sphere much larger and encompass the globe. But obviously they couldn't show that globe model accurately, else some of their audience might start to think it. So for all his claims that the model doesn't globe, everything about it actually has its roots much grounded in the globe. Now I have to say, overall this model is poor. Not just for accuracy, we'll get onto that in a minute, but just the overall usability. Controls in the interface are just funky and unintuitive. Maybe that's intentional to dissuade people from using it much and learning what's wrong with it. Now, if you want a user-friendly experience, controls where you can actually learn something, check out the all-new. I'm a long-time user of Brilliant. In fact, I have completed classes on Brilliant every single day without fail for more than 3 years. This is one of the best ways to make hard topics more understandable. And now it's been made even more effective thanks to Koji, your very own tutor that can help you along with maths and coding classes. Because learning's not just about parroting off the answers, it's about understanding the logic behind the answer. If you're struggling with a particular question, you can call up Koji, who will help guide you to the answer. Thanks to their app, it can fit very around your life. I was completing classes even whilst I was in Antarctica. But don't just take my word for it. Visit brilliant.org/Dave McKeegan by clicking the link below or scanning the QR code on screen. Try Brilliant, brand new for free today. And if you enjoy it half as much as I do, you'll also get 20%. Now, let's get into Shane's claims about the model being 100% accurate. So we can prove this one's wrong pretty quickly just by pulling up a solar eclipse. Shane has previously bragged about apparently winning a $10,000 bet to predict the 2028 eclipse on a flat Earth. So I decided to take a look at that eclipse on his model. I set the observer's latitude and longitude 15.6 degrees south, 127 degrees east, the exact coordinates he gave in the bet post. And I set the date for July 21st, 2020. I told the model to track the sun, let it play. And to be fair, it does show the moon eclipsing the sun, but it doesn't show a total eclipse. So I looked at the eclipse path, and it has a partial eclipse as far south as the edge of Antarctica and as far north as the edge of China, but the path of totality goes through Sydney. So I changed my observer location to flat bang in the middle of the path of totality. Yet Shane's model still shows a mostly obscured sun, not a total eclipse. At the moment of totality, for an observer on the line of totality, moving then further north or south, you would see gradually reduced amounts of eclipse, with those at the very edge of the path only seeing the edge of the sun being obscured. So I then tried a completely different location. I put the observer way up in Russia. A person here in 2028 would not see any of that eclipse. Yet strangely, Shane's model predicts exactly the same, very heavily eclipsed sun here that it predicted in Sydney. Despite the fact that one location should have a total eclipse and one should have no eclipse at all, Shane's model predicts the wrong thing for both locations. This model is placing the sun and the moon at the exact same distance away, so there's no parallax shift when you move observer's location. For example, if you place a cover over part of a light on the ceiling, it doesn't matter where you move, the light will always be obscured by the same amount. If you place something a distance away from a light, now it only obscures the light from certain places, and the amount it obscures changes as the observer moves. So Shane's 100% accurate model is not 100% accurate at all. But then some people have seemingly brought up the moons of Jupiter. I previously mentioned the moons of Jupiter as being a problem for flat Earth. At times you can see its moon flying like an arrow in the sky, but the direction that they point changes depending on the observer's latitude. Now, Shane made a post in response. Somebody had brought up the moons of Jupiter, saying, quote, okay, Tom, just for you, now all the moons of Jupiter are accurately rendered using Ptolemaic epicycle only. Welcome to Flat Earth, end quote. I saw somebody else even repost this, calling it a mic drop. Except I then had to question them as to why we don't see stars in front of the planet, given that you can see Shane's own post, star fields in the Earth and the planet. So we should then see stars going across the moon and the planets, which we don't. So they didn't seem to have an answer for this. Even if you were to drop the planets down below the stars, though, the whole thing doesn't make sense. Why have this dome over each observer as the observer's personal dome of vision? So that must be the limit of our vision. Otherwise, you'd be seeing the sun on the dome of vision as well as the actual sun through it. So two suns in the sky. But then if the dome is the farthest that we can, how could we see the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars at all, since they're further away? The limit of my vision is 100 meters, and anything beyond the 100 meters will not be able to. Of course, the reality is we don't have a limit to our vision because it's not projected from our eyes. Our eyes simply reflect. So as long as light is reaching us from an object, we can see it. The sun and the planets were too far away for us to see the actual location when the light is traveling directly from them to our eyes, and our eyes certainly would not be able to see the light that's taking an even longer route via this dome of vision. Camera sensors definitely do not have a limit either, so they should be able to then see the physical location of these, not just the same dome of vision we apparently see. But obviously, my first thought upon seeing all about a 100% accurate flat Earth model was, I can't wait to see how they explain the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. It's one of the videos Shane even shared specifically stated it worked with the 24-hour sun.
Real-time syncs to every eclipse that's happened. And the demos, it shows 24-hour sun, sun and moon NLEMA demonstrations.
Except when I looked at it, it didn't. Wherever you are in Antarctica, reasons. Why I found it especially strange to then see Austin shared Shane's post about the model saying fire, given that Austin was one of the people who went to Antarctica and saw the 24-hour sun. Now, obviously, it did not take long for someone to point out to Austin that the model explained the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, to which Austin's response was, quote, "You actually not see how illogical it is to say other falsification possibilities should be ignored because you haven't heard a satisfactory explanation observation." Quote, which is an obviously strange attitude to take. Flat earthers are all too happy to call debunked the moment they find a single observation they think doesn't work with it, but they will hang on to flat earth by their teeth no matter how many observations you give them that don't work with it. So I responded to Austin highlighting Shane repeatedly the model is 100% accurate and can account for everything observable from. Well, if it can't explain the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, then the model's wrong. But then changing the model to try and make it fit the 24-hour sun in Antarctica would change everything else, so nothing else would work. The same age-old problem that flat earthers face for years. I also pointed out to Austin, the model is based on the A map, which we proved wrong during the same trip by the fact we measured the distance between lines of longitude and showed the gap between them actually shrank as you move further south past the equator, not get larger like the AE map indicates would happen. Though I also highlighted on a few other posts about how the 24-hour sun in Antarctica debunks this model, and Shane himself responded, trying to claim the model has different demonstrations that show the apparent position correctly. Where I nearly fell off my chair laughing, because the demonstration that Shane shows to try and argue the model can accurately explain the Antarctic sun is a completely different map than his previous post. One has Antarctica as an island in Africa where the North Pole was. So their way of explaining one observation is to completely change the Earth to suit it and just hope nobody notices. Even their other demo that does use the AE map doesn't make any sense. The actual sun circling over the tropic and then the apparent sun circling over in Antarctica, we observed the sun stay the exact same angular size throughout the entire 24-hour period. Yet on this model, when the apparent sun was to our north, the actual sun was the exact same distance away from the observer, yet we couldn't see any of it. And when the apparent sun could south, the actual sun was on the opposite side of the Earth, and yet it still appeared the exact same size to us when it was in the north, for no explainable reason. Someone else then responded, pointing out the Transglobe expedition that circled the Earth via both poles and highlighting that doesn't work with Shane's model, where Antarctica is an pole. Shane's response was to say, quote, "No, it's not. You're confusing the map with the model as every." Quote. So, according to Shane, the map isn't important for the model. Despite how you're supposed to show the ground positions of celestial objects without an accurate map to know what part of Earth each celestial body is directly over, I'm not quite sure. Though, in another post in response to somebody else, Shane then states they need to change the map to the AE projection. So somehow, according to him, maps aren't part of the model and they're not important, but he also says they are and you need the right map for the model to work. Go figure. I also love the fact that the model claims to include satellites. A, how the hell do satellites launch from Earth stay in orbit over a flat Earth? B, why is their apparent positions going all over the place and crashing into the ground as well? Flat Earthers claim that gravity is magic. So Shane's 100% accurate flat Earth model is not accurate at all. It can't accurately predict eclipses for all locations. It can only show an eclipse is happening if one is happening somewhere on Earth, but not how it will appear for all locations on Earth. And it still can't explain the 24-hour Antarctic sun. Well, not without completely changing to a different map that would then screw up every prediction the model map. If you want a model that can really show all this stuff and more, look at Stellarium. It will show you accurate eclipses anywhere on Earth. It will 24-hour sun and everything else by having a celestial sphere and using the heliocentric model. But I guess that means this model of Shane's is no longer a 100% computed model. Well, unless Shane just completely lost this video. So that's going to be it for this. As always, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't already done so, then please like and subscribe buttons, and hopefully in the next video.
What would happen if it exploded near the Earth? The nearest star to Earth, of course, is the Sun, and it is not going to explode. But if it had 8 times the mass, then it would go supernova at the end of its life. What would that look like? Well, as noted by XKCD, if you held up a hydrogen bomb right to your eyeball and detonated it, that explosion would be 1 billion times less bright than watching the Sun go supernova from Earth. That's how insanely powerful supernova explosions are. They are the biggest explosions in the universe. When we see supernovae in other, they are brighter than the combined light of billions of stars. So bright, in fact, of nowhere. On the 8th of October, 1604, the Johannes Kepler looked up into the night sky and noticed a bright star he had never seen before. Brighter than all the other stars in the sky, about as bright as the Jupiter. On moonless nights, it was bright enough to cast a shadow. Kepler published his observations of this star in a book called De Stella Nova, which means about a new star. Kepler thought the birth of a new star would be a star's violent death. Over the following year and a half, the light faded until it was no longer visible. The name stuck. Even once we learned what was really happening in the 1930s, the final explosion for stars between 8 and 30 solar masses called supernova.
Supernova, you
How
think
exactly
it's
a star
over,
explodes
but
is not what
supernova
most people
don't.
think.
It don't. It
For most of
don't.
a star's life, it exists in a stable balance. Its core, it fuses lighter elements to make heavier ones. The process, it doesn't
God
matter.
damn it! Now I have to fucking listen to that. Supernova, you think it's over, but he's like Rob Zombie's brother or something, cousin. What is the fucking band name? Oh my god. Power Fist or something. Arman 5000. Supernova, you think it's over? Supernova. Supernova, you think it's over? Supernova, don't stop. Supernova, you think Supernova. Good. Get your ass down. Get your ass down. You did the fucking. You went straight for it. You went straight for doing the one thing that gets you kicked down every fucking time. Echo, you don't listen. I know you want to sit in my lap, but you don't fucking listen. You don't follow the rules. And when you don't follow the rules, you don't get to be in the lap. Being in lap is about being calm, about being gentle. You don't get to just fucking punch me over and over and over again because I'm not touching you. Don't even act jealous of the cat. He hasn't been in my lap all day.
Heat it up to 190 degrees, pour it through the air trap, and make gravy for dinner. You're gonna Use old filthy fat? I like having a job. Hey, Lavernia, I need some licorice, some paper towels, and a six-pack of hard cash. I count it out. Exactly. You like a fresh $8. You gotta be kidding me. $8 for a little. Last month's till spring. My caboose, get back to work. Hey, you know what? You have to snarl at us every. You want me to dump this? Don't dump it. Take that bucket, heat it up to 190 degrees.
Task is impossible. Can't be done. This is an attempt to trick us.
They say the weirder the weapon.
Are you talking, Michael?
Yes, Mother.
And you, sweet John, are you feeling sleepy?
I finished upstairs. As I finish upstairs.
I'm back on it. You're sleeping there, Miss Cullen. Are you? Sanford is. How can you? Don't you think you'll be Are you talking, Michael?
Yes, Mother.
And you, sweet John, are you feeling sleepy?
I finished upstairs. Why don't people just collect the barnacles stuck to a ship's hull? They slow the vessel down. Why not scrape them off and put them to use? The thing is, most of these barnacles are common species with almost no meat. They taste bad. They're tough to process, and basically no one wants to eat them. Even worse, some barnacles can actually be toxic. That's because large ships usually have special anti-fouling paint on their hull. Barnacles that stay attached for a long time end up absorbing harmful chemicals from the paint, which makes them unsafe to eat. Ships are even riskier. They're way more toxic. So when barnacles are removed, you can't just toss them aside or eat them. They have to be properly destroyed to keep those toxins from entering the food chain. Throwing them back into the ocean isn't a solution either. Scraped off, even if their shells are still intact, they can't reattach or produce the glue they need. They just sink to the bottom and turn into food for sea creatures. So, what do you think? Do barnacles have any other use? Just collect the barnacles stuck to a ship's hull, since they slow the vessel down, why not scrape them off and put them to use? Thing is, most of these barnacles are common species with almost no meat. They taste bad, they're tough to process, and basically, where should the NPC look? Searches for a lost target. This is a problem that's taken me to solve, but it's the best yet. Each NPC asks the question. Self, and then focuses on the farther instruction. See the spot. Effect. As the NPC look. It's a problem.
It's ridiculous.
Every pic. Okay, 4 pizzas and a salad. Salad? How do you make a salad? First, you throw in the whole lettuce, even the bottom. That's what you want. Now what else? I got a whole black. Should I slice them up? What are you, crazy? No, you keep. I don't want to know you. Olive in your mouth. What about cut it into thirds? It should be big enough to pretend you've got red teeth. How about this carrot? Should I cut it up? Yes, but very. That's not wrong. Get back. This ain't the best meal you've ever had in your life. Only dog. Let's go. Get back. How are you, kid? Good, I'm good. Hey, how are you, kid? Good, I'm good. Hey, well, gosh, not how we go. Well, it's happened to you, but how does it be? Nothing, everything well. You got to well, how we go. Well, it's happened to you, but how does it be? Nothing, everything well. You got to well, gosh, not how we go. Well, it's everything well. Jade, how long were you in prison for?
A lot of years.
childhood celebrity crush?
30-ish. And you were like fucking 30?
I told you, but they would. Molest me. Breaks it out. Molest me. Mike, stay there. Don't. 4. Here we come. 2.
I'm gonna get one of these little homie bots.
These videos, I mentioned that adding water to increase the despite demonstrating. I am going to demonstrate it once again. I was surprised to see vibrating the container of the concrete mix line at the top and at the recommended 5 liters of concrete mix. I keep doing these. This has so many. Okay, this mix is pretty wet. That helps to adding water to scrape the inside of the bucket to make sure. Shot to show. As you can see, changed it all. Stay tuned for my next see what weighs more. Of feathers. In my previous videos, I mentioned that adding water to concrete mix does not increase the despite demonstrating that it's true in that video. This comment caused some controversy. Today I'm going to demonstrate it once again, but on a smaller scale. See how many people that's that point. Vibrating the container to help the concrete mix settle, put a line at the top. Added the recommended 3.5 liters of bucket and poured the concrete mix. I really didn't want to keep doing these videos, but you guys have asked so many questions. I'm starting to feel like Scarface. Okay, this mix is pretty wet. Hopefully that helps to hammer home the fact that adding water to concrete mix doesn't increase. Into my Rubbermaid container, scrape the inside of the bucket. Here's one last shot to show that the bucket. As you can see, the line has not changed at all. Now we can call this myth busted. Stay tuned for my next video where we see what weighs more, a pound of rocks or a pound of. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that adding water to concrete mix does not increase the volume. Demonstrating that it's true in that video. Some controversy. Today I'm going to demonstrate it, but on a smaller scale. See how many people that's that. guys are not only one. So, Nathan, hey, tried to sew a smooth. Let's learn how we can do. Lean curve together. So I'll fold line where the hem will sit. Start with the basic stitch at the edge of the curve. So you can see we've stitch that we learned. Gently distribute the gathers along the big stitch is just a stitch that's used to hold the fabric in place. And this gathering stitch is just a type of basting stitch. We then make a fold, iron it flat, and sew along the edge. Now, and as you iron to hide it, sew to finish. So, Nathan, ever tried to sew a curve smooth? Let's learn how we can do. Being curved hem is our fold line where the hem will sit. Start with a basic stitch at the end, so you can see we've noodles are peas. Just peas to milk.
That real quick.
All noodles are peas. Just peas to milk.
Almost unstable, like accumulate.
This is the turkey. Chef from France once taught me, if you pour boiling water into stir the dark chocolate first, slower, chocolate until both turn silky. Separate bowls, set them aside. Now add vanilla pudding powder into a saucepan. With a gentle stir, Keep stirring until. Meanwhile, take this time to like this video, name of the city from which you're watching. Make sure to leave a heart. Oh, and thanks for sharing this video. Divide this warm cream into both chocolate bowls and mix each one slowly. Chocolate, ice water. Let and chill creates a thin chocolate shell. Same pan, biscuits, mix until they soften into a smooth mixture into your chocolate mold. Dark. Like, let them chill for 2 hours. And when you finally get into it, you'll buy some desserts. Pastry chef from France taught me if you pour boiling jars of
Any idea what break? I did a quick count of the brush strokes. There's 1,300. Less than the original.
Bells weren't even manufactured.
That's all you destroyed a masterpiece? Big masterpiece. Congratulations, Carrie. Painting is a forger. Be able to ID the forger by. Oh, find it. This painting, and it was made by machine. Get a high quality forgery machine, you'd first need a three-dimensional scan
By the 3D machine art.
the forger. Extremely high.
When I was a customer in Stewart Music, they keep images of nature.
Just a second.
You could use my account.
On the image, 4K resolution, more than enough to create the forgery. You cool to both art students, publishers, and once by somebody acting toys. They have everything one would need to create the forger must work there. Working idea. Hey guys, come on, let's go. If I in my farm that I send to the store, and the answer try and keep a bunch of wood this size, and then even like these flat pieces. This, and I will just keep it tight. I do wrap. Show you what I mean here in a second. Here. Bundle's pretty good. Here, I'll take a smaller piece and put it here. Not kindling with just to make it wrap in the wood. Centerpiece. And I'll put it. And that's shit. So, kindling in the. People are asking if I put kindling in my bundles that I send to the store, and the answer is in the U.S. Closely, she turns a
each circuit to make sure the main power line and every wire is secure to read. And there you go.
I don't use all that much paint in my paintings.
Tradesman's reaction. Be the best way I've ever looked at. Beautifully done on the table. Look at it. Posture, great. It broke. If you slip to a chain and slide down. Hold the chain between the rest of your fingers curled to a fist, keeping the chain and threading. Ring turns sideways. Drop it. Slight spin as it falls. One edge hits the chain first. That pivot in the ring chain. The chain slips into a loop, tightens as the ring drops, snagging it.
in Chicago. You probably well, it's 3 in the morning and I'm laying down 3,000 feet of epoxy. So right now this floor is covered in diamond gum. Oh, there's even this massive crack right here. First we need to clean. Because the epoxy needs to bond to a perfectly clean surface. And now, laying down 50. Before it dries, should probably add some special bioluminescent. Finally, couldn't be more. Now, seeing how far this excites me. Just a new story again. We're just getting ready to cook. Out. Ready to cook. Charge by how much meat I actually get back. I get this question like myself too. No wait, also heavyweight drinking. It is this right here. It's the fairest way to do it. First, let's look at why we don't charge by live weight. We had two beef in 1395. Actually weighed less on the rail than the smaller one. If we charge them a live weight, the customer carcass would end up paying more. Now let's look at why we don't charge package weight. A common thing that I get is because the package largely dependent on how the customer decides to get beef and both deal and are the same or even extra work for the butcher. So the fairest way to charge is what the fuck is this? I haven't had gotten a drink since I've been on this side of Cobra. Same thing. Time to color. Bottom here. Second hands. Blue. Telekinetic. Electricity. It'll be okay. What's this? Get back here. Yes.
Perhaps we were colored, just except for me. Look at me! Supposed to. Let's go under.
Easy.
All the shoe polish.
Where's the captain? Time to color. Time to color. Chefs would heat maximum temperature, then they would throw difference dirt to slide. Japanese chef would drop a large block of ice onto a blazing hot grill. See, constant use of the grill builds up thick layers of grease. Others clean it using a normal soap with their hands, which takes hundreds of minutes to remove residue. So the chefs would heat the grill to maximum temperature, then they would throw one ice block onto it. Instantly, the ice reacts with the hot grill, and the sharp temperature difference causes all the grease to slide down. The smartest Japanese chef would intentionally drop a large block of ice onto a blazing hot grill. See, constant use of the grills builds up thick layers of grease, and restaurant owners soap with their hands. It takes hundreds of chefs would heat the grill to maximum temperature, then they would throw one large block onto it. Instantly, reacts with the hot grill, and the sharp temperature difference causes some dirt to slide down. The smartest Japanese chef would intentionally drop onto a blade. You see, constant use of builds up thick and restaurant owners and using a normal soap with their hands, which takes minutes to remove. So the chefs would heat the grill to maximum temperature, then they would throw ice block onto it. Instantly, ice reacts with the hot. Sharp temperature difference causes.
Cooling them off? Oh no, just getting rid of the dust.
Each snack would magnify so many times on the screen it would look like a blizzard.
Why do you put them on Eisenberg?
Not a celluloid. So we can see through it. Then we can use the same background every time.
Something happened, all the ducks look alike. Oh no, each one is different. See this one, we put some on. Now we take one. Now. He still doesn't move. I get it. I see. Yeah. Cooling them off? Oh no, just getting rid of the dust.
Each snack would magnify so many times on the screen it would look like a blizzard.
Why do you put them on Eisenberg?
Not a celluloid. So we can see through it. Then we can use the same background every time.
Something happened, all the ducks look alike. Oh no, each one is different. See this off the ground. One picture. Seconds. Ready. 60 seconds. Stops grilling. I'm going to check. Setting a different. Grab some.
Serve infinitely. This is prehistoric. As quickly as you can. How old is a person born in 19? Civics Bob. Time? How old? Still alive? Still alive. Third, 1920. Still alive.
I'm doing what any time, which much take staff, which is right, and I am I'm pulling out thread, travel up the thread, and once I get about so far, because my extra twist, and I check my fit for what I apply it, then I have to roll it. You have to keep tension on it and back on your top thread right there. And be a pretty cool way. Roll it up, back on and do a half hinge up here. And women would have been doing this, and then also some professional spinners, but own if they could.
me. Sorry.
Science means one thing.
It's like half an ad.
The greatest thing you have working for you. Picture you paint. Imagination.
It's pretty bold work.
Testament to ketchup.
Chew on it, fellas.
Difference between ketchup and ketchup. That's what you're comparing. I say, it's a conversation. You only ketchup. Ketchup versus.
Lines to ketchup. Half an ad.
Picture you paint.
Magnets. Selling force of magnetism to make bike suspension. So, there's your Smith prototype. I made this. Now, this has been called cracker by. This was the proof of concept. So there's a few issues. You're going to pick up. The bits. I did. Yes. Look at this bad boy. We've got a bicycle with magnet suspension.
You still have a fixed path vector.
Oh, Gordon.
You just said that sandwich.
Just keep it. Sandwiches instead of one. This one. Wait. Good idea. You send that 3 months. Here, and that'll be a nice surprise. Oh, I'm excited. Wait to eat that sandwich. I was going to be happy to see it. For your sandwich.
You just said that. Please. Let me show you a magic. Take one egg and
Excuse me, we're an island nation. Are we?
in the ocean.
The ocean.
essential function of the ambassador. I detected We'll take questions for the ambassador only.
We require all of all oceans and waterways.
Excuse me, we're an island nation. Are we permitted passage across the oceans?
No, not in the waters or the sky.
You live in the ocean. The skies are not.
Air above the
Stick the orange. See.
No. When the sun comes up.
It's your first day. I don't expect you to know any of this. Just
Chicken breast. Toast again. Full pie. Combine. How the hell do I cheese it, fill it, and then bake it? Once you cheese it, and bake it. So just create an incredible creamy, cheesy chicken pasta. Calories. And then
that definitely sounds. Pasta's cool.
that is perfect.
I guess there's only one thing left. How that is cool. Pasta definitely. Oh, I need
What is it? Something so. Chicken. That makes people think. See all sides.
Here it comes. Wait for it.
what? This is it? I got this. This is nothing. I'll do it all. Great. Rinse. Hallelujah. Maya, you like
Raindrop.
Rip out the lead pipe from the ground. Now cut it in. This is one of China. Should not be sourdough. Cheap. Viable. Sus. Cheap. Here's how to make fresh pasta with no. Start with 2 cups of flour. Crack in 3. The eggs with a fork, bit by bit, something like this. Yes. Edge scraper, or jump right in with your hand. It's too dry. Add small amounts of water. Put it into whatever shape of pasta you want. Fill in extra salty water, and then eat it with whatever sauce you want.
How to make fresh pasta with no. Start with 2 cups of flour and make a
Urgent man ever told you you're you for someone. I'm going to urgent men spend their entire lives then performing a socially acceptable version of themselves. Now, adult lives. Treasuring that. Shame. You as a mirror. Theory. Someone more socially acceptable makes them look. Version
Hey, Mario, what is it?
kinds of low possibly more niche and hard to can handle what if scenarios in recent. If you ask them college, how do you think it would did go to college? Extreme black and sized see the and they then assume that you hated that candidate and this is also known as the exposed to articles or short video. They speak on it with absolute certainty, conceptualized scale, and often shows up in statistical or blood scale. Times in 100, that would be extremely profile. That it's safe. But they become progressively more niche scenarios.
Pasta doing? Like the way you did that in the machine shop.
has been
Whenever I'm talking to my therapist about
When the sun comes up,
Good afternoon. Welcome, Channel 4. Hearing. All of them simultaneously. Decide which channel you want. You press the button. When you do that, then the television. Use that. You code the frequency to undo. Every channel has its own and the signal back to this television. That's being produced inside lifted out. Carry away. Beautiful example. Within use. Really want introduce devices which was slightly because they thought it was supposed to try and dodge in or out. It's got all of the windows. What's now? These vans. TV set on. Even on the city. Reason they need that because they have a link. Your town. Rotate it. Then, using all of the equipment, they would try to tune in to see. If, for example, ATV could prove that inside that on tuned inside knew on ATV inside the house was because of where the pointed, but also could they would do all the way. They would then go. Here's the proof. You're watching. Effects. The TV license detector. It has been, but what they're looking at flickering on each fingerprint. 2027. What we do know that if you're watching on television in the UK, you know your TV programs that beautiful in the flesh onto factions, usually end waves. Even with an organ used in part to or gain what little glory they. First of all, dramatic victory. Wars can only be won with blood in a battle for games map to dozens of hexagonal regions. The world into
seizing them. Once the town two rated to have additional garrison to the total victory point. 30 minutes, leading to destroy the town. Also be lost. You look at the number of victory points. The last victory would eventually be just leaving all. However, we know that typically have little to no victory, usually making their characters seem. Even so, there are a few factors that are player count, burnout, developer intervention. Souls a game with two factions. Presented with the faction, pick whose side of the on. This states that live can still join all of the faction. Also means that your team isn't always table shard, also known as Oxal's. That's just a hair longest ox. Only ending a hard deadline because it was taking too long. The new players Colonials then deadline. Long though, it's just a question of morale.
Well, 20 shells are cheap.
Voxels people hope any big attack break the state. He's coming to swing more on the rise. Worshipping a new player who somehow survived to the point that the other faction statistics.
Change light to the end. Close in morale.
Oh yeah.
Seemingly unbreakable base. Pearl Harbor incident, or the simultaneous destruction. Which is something avoidable, drawn out. Was once a major Warden comeback occurred in War 90. Colonials had taken 30 of 32 victories, only to be beaten back by the Wardens at the numbers 30-32 since served a rallying cry. Wardens get to the very edge of the with memes about back of this gravity will be achieved by either side. Incidentally, what scholars did would also make one of Fox's promise that he would eat a sheep. Wardens came back for this. It's bad. Euphoria from War 93. Colonials would have been a big role in this. While attempts at the struggle, hardships. Just role play. Or if these were viable in turn.
Close. There's boots.
Unity called these weapons wipe out major faction where they should be allocated to. Additionally, heavily, almost every, with them on the losing end of this one, Navy's viability a couple of coordinated peninsula, eventually taking the region's capital. The fingers opened up the colonial back. The fingers will be used as a stepping to advance colonial back logistics hub of terminus. I did manage to have an interview with a Warden when they were captured. Way to terminus in 17. First is the turning victory, proving that at least in this superiority it prosecuted a Evil had used repeatedly in wars. No backlashes. The colonials would see type of radiation destroying stockpiles of time.
the front, just that more difficult. Somewhat or 100 create what they call to Mr. MacArthur radioactive cobalt. This war would last times. War's end isn't up to Al or even strategy. The developers of the game, sometimes enough just needs to be pushed. The console developers are typically pretty hands-off when it comes to this. There were a couple of incidents where wars were given a designated war. Before they begin. Came as a massive War 120, turning into a string of events, a major naval battle, even meta. More than a month, still a question. Developers needed so unending. Slowly reduce the seeing to make the best application. Regiments got together. Well, late in the war, both sides had very keen on using. Stage was set. Naval battle. Extremely low stakes. Enforcing this rule were teams setting naval lines along the borders of the region. Although language Cold War due to such being wildly irresponsible. Even a large logistics which somehow struck for the action.
Board this up. Board this up. Board this up.
Nothing to lose. Everyone just wanted to have. Please note that this kind of
Finally, a naval war worthy of my time.
War 100 resulting in a overall colonial left a bit of a bit some players' mouth. The war it was for to push out also end shortly. War 100 Killer War, I think whether it was due to burnout or feeling like the 3 or 100 days. Fever. The game dead? No. The next war would last for a respectable 39 days. In one of my favorite last stands in my Chorizo. Near the end of a war, usually there are a few very hotly contested single victory point for the defenders they're incentivized to occupy, but to not last city football. Wardens need colonials would Rizzo was a bit different because it was a
What are you chewing on?
Wouldn't go down.
What you chewing
The
on?
highest casualty rate. Garages strategies were used to engage multiple Warden super. Colonial districts then rushed experience being times. Not a lot. Rolled into the city of time. Result was 12 hours. Wardens took raining down artillery shells from rows of mines over the fort. Go down the barrages depth. For a short war, this lasted. On, whether you're attacking or defending, in experience. Players, you can all have different conditions. Set out with different objectives for a war. Or setting up that logistics chain that you always. Maybe it's holding on to a piece of land that you call home for the whole war. Whether it was Fort Ember in war. Cut off from the mainland, free state of the we have different goals. Those wars have a war ends in a crushing. Doesn't really care about stories that we matter the most. Off to a hockey star. Once of the balance adjustment. Life changes. Involved this. There's new quality of life fixes. I'm a little now that able on server things that community. We all need to get my things that straight out of my mind.
There's no honor among.
That saying?
The fact is,
In this life, there are lines criminals should not. Standard of conduct, even for those who earn their livelihood in the law. If I use my leverage with law enforcement, hold those who violate that standard, those individuals have forfeited the right to operate. Every single one of them, lucky there by others, and being held to it. Honor among you. That saying? Why is that? The fact is, in this life, there are lines, criminals. Standard of
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, man? I figured out a fun way of reading solar amp. A special lighting account. You don't have to sit. You have to sit here for the fun shooting parts. Before I dive in, thank Hardox for sponsoring this video. Sins of the Solar Empire 2 is currently on 50% off July. If you use our link down in the description, $35% off. Really, never been a better time to get into it and commit sins. Hardox Summer. War in the Solar Empire. Haven't read, but doing with your life, but more importantly, let future you discover collapse. But relativistic collapse size of all now humanity begins expanding, and there definitely 100% total monster begins really great. Think, but the role play. Represent this in Sins of the Solar Empire. I'm using the Ancient Gifts map. Now it looks nice because there are 14 stars each, full number of planets. There are 2 gateways per system, linking each system to 2. You will not be able to very filling up this galaxy. Number of every single and each sub-faction. So I'm going to play as the Enclave, access to the Titan, which I'm going to be leading a whole host of other fun trader things. We have a cannon, and they're going to be a nightmare level. Right, we've got the Advent Rat, for the and Alliance, our win condition.
You had to compare this meal versus
Reminds me of getting a safety pan to flip through our crew on the brook, which I did for like 12 days in 1980.
this is really spicy. oh, do I have a treat? Joining me is all around TV host, author, musician, and a good friend.
Because I don't even know what you're going to make, but I do know that you're going to try to kill. This is all that you got in here is like an old bagel with bacon. It's
Oh,
like it's
that
2
was
years old.
breakfast.
Something. Oh, police.
Well, welcome, Alton.
Hi. Thanks for
Hi.
having me, Chef.
Today is all about celebrating Alton Cup.
Really?
Yes. Today is your life journey. Spicy. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
We just reminisce like the last 30 seconds for it'll be easier, and I'm remembering.
How is your spice tolerance?
In summertime, wintertime.
Oh, really? In Korea, actually, you eat more spicy in summer because you sweat
Right,
it
you're
out.
supposed to sweat,
Uh-huh.
and it evaporates.
Uh-huh.
Sounds, so sweat never evaporates.
Well, I'm going to start you off with this is an ode to childhood or the South. And then we topped it with a mix of rainbow peppercorn, chili, and Szechuan. You smell them, and how do they smell?
You know, it smells on the side of the road. I was born in Los Angeles. I moved to Georgia. Never seen a boiled pizza. It used to be something you'd be like a little pull off.
Okay.
And there'd be a big pot.
Does this look familiar?
It does, only you haven't mounted it properly.
Oh, yeah.
Burrow is so deep on this that what you really do is you need to go get like a medicine, like from a Tylenol jar, and then you like you poke a hole in it and put it onto this so that you don't spill.
Well, how did you do?
You know,
Not impressed. Oh my gosh. You should get that numbing.
You're gonna numb me up. This is my Novocaine.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're keeping with Georgia root. Here's a drink in classic band. This one goes out to the one you love. It's called the REM. Reaper in Pink. Obviously, this video, directed and music video.
I was the director of photography.
That music video is crazy.
Thank you.
A lot of
There were drugs. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
I mean,
no, obviously
I was not doing drugs. I was doing a technical job.
crazy shit happens. I infuse alcohol. Is music Reapers
Can we just do shots?
I die.
I will drink
Area.
you under the bridge.
It's not about tolerance. Also, I'm Korean. FYI, my blood is made with alcohol. So, oh no, oh god, wait, Alton, this is not about the tolerance. This is about the spice.
I know what it is. This is about,
You're gonna-
this is about
this is-
shutting you up. Is what this is about. Come on.
Okay, this is really. Oh my god.
The brine, ice, and the infusion.
What? One sip is
Really?
okay. That's for you. All right then. Moving on to next. I know that growing up in Georgia, your grandma was a huge influence in your life, and these are her biscuits.
What's going on?
So
Because fat changes everything, as you know.
it
So,
does
yeah.
because I put quite a good amount of chili in there, and it wasn't, getting up to the level that I wanted.
Right.
So, I added about 4. Well, it's butter, so I don't think it's whack your palate or anything.
Last time I whacked my palate, I woke up in Tijuana with no pain in bed. There's something else.
Honey. Not just about. It's about balancing. Can we talk about fried chicken real quick?
That's we'll seek out Korean fried chicken.
Koreans really buy it. It's like huge, like
Plenty of oil. There's a lot of oil.
there's a lot of oil,
So-
and it's always
Americans from my background crying because we were taught for so long that that is bad, that we're crying the least amount of
That's
Well, thank you. Yes. We're simple people.
because then less oil
But
and it absorbs
the less
more,
oil
right?
absorbs more
Yeah.
because you can't maintain the temperature. You need a bunch of oil at a temperature with a smaller amount of food.
That's kind of odd.
Nothing?
I would do that for you.
It's between you and me. Okay. Best guess.
Oh. Okay. I'll get another martini.
No, I'm drinking yours because you're.
All right, we're about ready. We can start with the good. What? Every time I turn around, you're making some sort of trouble. Okay.
Oh,
You gonna then?
I grew up in a trade.
Do you remember when we met? Do you remember finale of Iron Chef on Netflix?
Do you even remember what you cooked?
Of course. Okay. I served the wing. It's stuffed with my grandma's dumpling. Dumpling in a wing. You didn't get to try this.
Didn't?
Yeah. And we serve it with like a little bit of a
Little bit.
little bit
This smells.
pork. Ooh,
This is the spiciest thing that you have fed me. Perfectly done. Pork is perfectly done. And the tofu is doing everything it's supposed to do. This is gravy, and it's incredible. What's in there?
smoke it in. He sent me over this crazy pepper X mash. So pepper X is now the hottest chili. Can't consume it. Bill
It's in
over
there.
there.
I will.
Well, he broke, so you
What
can't.
did you? What else did you have in that day that was in the vomit when you threw? That's what made you throw up. You didn't throw up from the chilies. You threw up from the freaking Continental breakfast at the Holiday Inn.
Cinematographer. That have any effect on how?
Every effect.
Oh, really?
Everything that ended up in Good Eats. The fact that I was a filmmaker and all sorts of things. Even if you didn't care anything about food, you would still be entertained.
Well, speaking of, did an episode.
Oh,
Really love TV.
I do.
Have all the colors of the rainbow. We are heat eaters.
I mean, anything.
What?
You've been gentle.
You came here and either dry, cold, or fermented. One that you had is cucumber. We added a little bit of Carolina powder. Is that
That's
spicy?
reaper powder?
Yeah.
Lisa Maya. How reapers are hot.
Yeah.
You're a little off. You haven't had enough alcohol to balance.
What? I drank 2 martinis. That's
Two?
crazy.
I drank 2 martinis before I changed the fuel rods in my.
Does alcohol cancel out the spice or
Yeah.
something?
It makes you not care.
Makes you-
I want to.
This stuff, I don't know if you should have it by itself. I almost killed Bill. Like, oh,
Don't.
I'll take.
I'm a professional. I can tell what this is. No, I'm not just going to thrust this into my mouth. That is the lighter fluid.
This is called gochujang. So it is, yeah, it's gochujang, which is traditionally, but we eat the gochujang with the ground beef, and then this is with pepper X mash. You know, enjoy that for a second.
The hottest thing. That's hot. Just do something. That is hot.
Oh my gosh,
Now
that makes your
we-
head
now we-
tingle.
Hot as it is, really,
It's pretty
it's
good,
extraordinary.
right?
It's like an entire cooked. How did you do that? I think that would be exciting to most people. That would only be painful to people.
Pain is pleasure, though.
Pain changes the way you perceive other things.
Okay.
But pain and pleasure is pleasure. messed up shit.
Oh.
This bibimbap is a very nostalgic.
We all about it.
I know that you had another Korean pilot one.
Sorry.
Don't touch this.
Yes.
It's super
No,
hot.
pain is pleasure,
Pain
chef.
is pleasure. For me, go to Korea every year since I was little. They serve bibimbap on the plane. Bibimbap is one of the most ever have. Look at how beautiful that is.
It's gorgeous. How do you do that on an airplane?
So they don't do it with food. They just serve bibimbap, regular bibimbap,
So it's pre-made.
but it's one of the best bibimbap we have. It's the Korean airline bibimbap. For some reason, when you're eating that on your trip to Korea,
Not really. About flavor. The way that the flavor profile changes because our blood oxygen levels change.
okay,
Because the reduced pressure changes the way we're perceiving. Also dehydration. Because most airplane air is drier than
right,
we're talking
so
about.
dry.
Acidity gets increased in the air. And umami,
Not
sweetness and sour things to go down.
thing is that astronauts always sauce because that's what it tastes.
Taste.
It tastes anything else.
Yes, little bottles of Tabasco sauce on
Yeah.
the space station are like gold. I think that what's so lovely about this dish, conceptually, again, balance. Now, red bumpy goo,
You need more?
away from it. Yeah,
I'm gonna taste a bite because us out.
Really? I've lied to you? It's hot as shit. You
The
first.
temperature makes it worse. The smell.
Yes. That are feeling, I say it's wine. Same sensors that sense actual physical heat. So all you're doing is compounding the misery.
Thank you. You're welcome.
We go have ice cream now, because that would be the only thing that would fix this.
Oh, do you not want another bite?
That is like not okay.
It's the perfect. It's
Kinda.
rice ice.
It's rice cream.
Rice. It's made with like rice cakes and grain powder. I feel like the perfect antidote is
You made a chili caramel.
this is a gochujang caramel.
So you've added more heat.
More heat. Heat.
I mean, it's got a lot going for it here. One, it's cold physically. Two, fat, which can kind of blend with the casing. But also, it's got casein in it, protein. It can act like detergent to kind of wash away, hold a lot of those.
You just want to add everything to your martini.
Making it float.
I hope you enjoyed yourself a little bit.
Right up till about 5 minutes ago. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed it.
So, good job.
What's got going on?
Me? I have a new live tour show coming up. I have that book, which will actually be hardback. This is the for you. You
This
can
is
have
for
that
me.
one.
You have to sign it.
I will. I will. I even got a pen. That is a collection, my first collection of essays, which will one essay is all about martini, which will be out also in February. Going
And
back.
illustrations.
That's when I got attacked by a giant thing of dough that I took it down the stairs in the summer.
Because you're also an illustrator.
Well,
And the pilot, and the musician, and the cinematographer, and the chef, and the...
yeah.
You are now part of the Heat Eaters Club, the Heaties. Congratulations.
Yes?
Yes. Yes. Welcome to Heaties.
And now I
Let me tell you something. Seem like a good idea. No. You realize that crooks that you stole approximately $400. Do you realize that you did over $3 million in property damage? Bridge, it's not replaceable! That bridge is a landmark. And it's on a flag. Into the city. Nobody actually lives in Citiesville. This is a bill in the use of super of Citiesville. You're hereby forbidden by law. Your powers. Get out of my sight. Let me tell you some words. Oh, it seemed like a good idea to blow up the city building. No. Lies, the two crooks that you caught. Approximately $400. You realize that you did over $3 million in property damage to that bridge? Unreplaceable! Is or was landmark. He'd say he actually lives in Citiesville. This is a bill given the use of superpowers and the you're hereby forbidden by law to use any of your powers. Get out of my sight. Let me tell you something. What point seemed like a good idea for the city? No. Books that you approximately $400. Do you realize that you did over $3 million in property damage to that bridge? It's not replaceable! Is landmark on a flag for also I mean city lives in cities village. Prohibiting the use of super for cities. You're hereby forbidden by law to use any of your powers within the city. On my sight. Let me tell you. What point it seemed like a good for the city. No. Lies, the crooks that you caught. Approximately $400. You realize that you did over $3 million property damage for that bridge? Unreplaceable! Also, that bridge is, or was, landmark. And it's on a flag for it's also the main city. Nobody actually lives in Citiesville. Bill prohibits at the top of cities. You're hereby give your powers with my sight. Let me tell you some words. What point? It seemed like a good idea. Go up the city. No. Two crooks that fought. Approximately $400. You realize that you did over $3 million in property damage to that bridge? It's not replaceable! Oh, that bridge. Park. It's on a flag for thoroughfare. Citiesville? They commute. This is a bill prohibiting use of superpowers and the you're hereby forbidden
Law to give your powers with a mice. Words. What poet? Like a good idea. Publicity.
There is no massive scope, so comprehensive as Baldur's Gate. Plenty of franchise. None of them let you experience a story that correct far beyond the game. Modules, like mythology. How it blurs the line. Sometimes it's meant to be awkward, but the sheer ambition of almost new developers not only restored the BioWare song, already on PC and now on tablet, also added their new expansion, Throne of Ball West. Kept this series alive and kicking long after the moment. On Mac and new and old content. According to Steam achievements, 10% Baldur's Gate 1 turns down to 1%. About 0% players finish the new. Second game, the number is 5% players have left 0.4 on all the way. So if Baldur's Gate is new players, more and more have bought the game. Untangling the reason high reputation, newly remastered, it takes almost as long. Playing games. Games themselves are truly of a previous age. Not just the rules, culture of things. High adventures, expectations. Take Baldur's Gate. How many years pass? Adventure always begins by the mage of Orion all your life. The way Baldur's Gate opens is critical to the whole to the player's emotional investment in the grand arc of their ultimate gift. Start humble. Folks whose power at the start. You and your childhood friend are orphan boards and they're happening beyond either of you. Sleep together. Kill the man. Corpse. Never earned the coin. Freedom of life. The tide of it so far. Pastoral. It's very different from one. Your origin is circle back around to a time and time Brian, in your turn, push by a figure. Moment is only now on. Nothing to lose. World. Optional acts in the base game is going to be powerfully charming. Barely withstand. Totally involved. And the entire person into the expansion really make it past. Every orc, every goblin, never truly become a powerful combat or solo role-playing game. So it is a typical plot and a typical power for your character. It happens slower than any modern game would. As a character instinctive, of your character. It feels natural or natural for most. Typically, a computer game makes you feel like fast by the next game in the series. You wouldn't feel it. Sense of your character. What's especially remarkable is that Baldur's Gate has an open world of a quality and depth that wouldn't really be seen again in computer role-playing games in the 3D